Yo, what's going on, everyone? We are back at it with another Prize Picks video. We're gonna go ahead and give y'all some winners for today, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get to it. But before we do that, let's go ahead and recap how Monday went, man. So where is it? So first of all, this whole Prize Picks update is trash. It sucks. Yeah, they make it very hard to just look at what we got going on, right? But we could have cashed this play right here easily if Russell Wilson did not get 3 freaking touchdowns called back, man. Malik Neighbors got 13 targets. Najee Harris busted out for 100 plus rushing yards. And then Russell Wilson only ended up getting 1 passing touchdown because there was a holding penalty. They didn't count the, I think George Pickens only had 1 foot in bounds or something like that. And I forgot the other one, but there was 3 touchdowns that were called back from Wilson, and the refs were just pulling me away from this play to cash, right? It was a 6.75x multiplier. $50 would have won us $337.50, and unfortunately that did not cash, right? And then also with Dak freaking Prescott, dude. Dak Prescott on Sunday, I needed him to get 246.5 passing yards, and dude only ended up with 243. He was literally just a few yards away, 3 yards away from cashing this for us, and he could not get that. He literally went 0-3 on the final drive of the game. And of course, if he didn't throw those 2 interceptions in that game, then this would have cashed, and it would have been another huge payout. $40 to win $320. And the fantasy gods were like, or the player prop gods were like, no, we're not giving it to you on either of those days. But we're going to go ahead, man. It's time for us to go ahead and get to our winning ways, right? So I'm going to do a little something different today. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all on DraftKings Sportsbooks what the payouts look like, right? So I really like, so let's say, all right, so for Prize Picks, we're going to go ahead and obviously go to take the NFL game, right? By the way, happy Halloween to those that celebrate Halloween. Yeah, I mean, it's cool that we got Halloween on a Thursday because we got football after all the kids run around, get candy and all that stuff. And by the kids, I mean me, right? So CJ Stroud, 225.5 passing yards, and Aaron Rodgers over 236.5 passing yards. So if we go on over here to the sports books, right? If we go to the passing props, so for Aaron Rodgers to get over his line, what is that, of 236.5 passing yards, that is set at about minus 140, right? Probably a little bit different. They don't have exactly what Prizepicks has it, but about minus 140, right? So that means at 236.5, he's probably sitting at about maybe minus 130, minus 135. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and take that 236.5 passing yards. And because, of course, with Prizepicks, they usually give you plus 100, plus 120, plus 140, even like plus 200 with those demon props, right? But I'm going to go ahead and take this one right here, minus 140-ish, right? Minus 135. And then we got CJ Stroud over 225.5 passing yards. So we go back 225.5 passing yards for CJ Stroud, man. Yeah, so we're going to go on over and see. I mean, CJ Stroud hasn't been cashing this consistently. He gets it here and there. He got it in 3 of the last 5, averaging 247.5 in the last 5. But that's because of the 2 big games against Buffalo and Jacksonville. But the last 3, he hasn't been looking so good. And of course, he doesn't have his players out there like Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs at the moment. But I still like it. I mean, on paper, on purpose, right? The Jets defense still looks hellish, right? They still look pretty good, but if you watch their games, they just don't look the same when Robert Saleh was out there, right? So I don't know what's going on with them. Of course, DJ Reed was injured for a minute. I don't know if he's still injured, but CJ Stroud over 225.5 passing yards is at minus 110, right? At minus 110. So it's still at minus 100 and better, right? So I think I'm still going to go ahead and take that, right? So we lock that in. And then we got to, of course, combine it with some receivers. So if we go over here to the receiving props for the DraftKings Sportsbooks, we're going to go, like, we can see Garrett Wilson, his line is set at like 60 something. So it's about minus 125. And then Devontae Adams is at plus 100 for 60 plus receiving yards, right? Prizepicks has Davante Adams at 57.5 receiving yards. And if we go on over here to Price, right, we're bouncing back and forth. So we go on over here to Prizepicks. You can see here, Garrett Wilson is going off lately now that Davante Adams is there and taking up a lot of attention. But man, I feel like it's about time for Davante Adams to have himself a breakout game here with the Jets and with Aaron Rodgers. And what better time to do it than on prime time? Everybody's watching, right? Thursday night football. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets win it. Honestly, like it just feels like one of those games where obviously most people's money is probably going to the Texas money line, Texas against the spread, Texas -110, -10, whatever. I don't know what the spread is, right? But I don't know. I think this is going to be one of those breakout games. It's going to be one of those weird games where obviously the Jets should not win it. They lost to New England. They lost to Pittsburgh. But I think that it's going to be that game where they're going to just go out there and oddly win this game, right? So I'm going to take Davante Adams over 57.5 receiving yards. Now, like I said, this is at -110, while Garrett Wilson is at -125. Okay, so I'm definitely going to still go ahead and lock that in. Where is it? So 57.5. So, Davante Adams is at +100. All right, +100. So we're going to take that. And then Tank Dell, his receiving yards is at around 60. He's at +100, right? Dalton Schultz is at about 40-something, -125. But then we got Joe Mixon, man. Joe Mixon's line is set at 25.5, and that is at -110. So we could either take Dalton Schultz or Joe Mixon. The reason why I like taking Joe Mixon, so I'm going to show y'all a little something here. So if we go ahead and take Joe Mixon over 24.5 receiving yards, this becomes a 9x payout, right? Versus if we will go ahead and take Dalton Schultz, this becomes an 8x payout. So we get an entire 1x, right? An entire unit just for taking the running back over receiving yards. And I actually really like Joe Mixon to go over his 24.5 receiving yards just because there is no Stephon Diggs, right? There is no Nico Collins still. And, I mean, they got Xavier Hutchinson and Robert Woods out there for the Texans. And actually, Robert Woods is probably not a bad play today, over 24.5 receiving yards, even though he hasn't been cashed in this. But, you know, the Texans are breath at receiver right now. So, but I'm going to go ahead and take Joe Mixon over 24.5 receiving yards. He actually cashed this last game, got 32 against Indianapolis. And like I said, I think, oddly enough, I think the Jets are somehow, some way going to win this game, either via the power of the refs, right, or they're just going to ball out. But let's go ahead. Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Stroud, Davante Adams, and Joe Mixon, right? It's up to y'all if you want to go ahead and take Garrett Wilson instead of Davante Adams, right? But I'm gonna go with Davante Adams, right? That's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. Let's look at what Breece Hall's line is at receiving, right? So Breece Hall, it's 25 plus, -170. Whoa, if that's available, nah, that is crazy. Breece Hall over 32.5 receiving yards, right? So over 32, they don't even have that like that. So 40 plus is at +160. 32, that is crazy. So 32, man, that makes me, the fact that the DraftKings Sportsbook doesn't have it, I'm going to move my weird face on over here if I froze. But the fact that DraftKings Sportsbook doesn't have it makes me want to potentially take this over here, man. But we'll see what we're going to do. Maybe I'll take that on another play. But for now, C.J. Stroud, Davante Adams, Joe Mixon, and Aaron Rodgers, man. Go ahead, lock in, everyone. We're putting $10 to a $90 on that one. All right, everyone, that's the play for today. Make sure you go ahead, lock in. And if y'all want to join the VIP, I'm going to put the link in the description down below. Put in, I'm gonna give y'all a discount, man, for the VIP for everyone for today. So for today, in honor of Halloween, man, I'm gonna go ahead and hook everyone up with an entire month of my VIP. That includes all my college football plays, all my NFL plays, and all my NBA plays throughout the week, sprinkled here and there, right? And all my NFL and college football plays. It's about 10 to 15 on the days that we have Saturday college football and NFL football, right? So $31. Happy Halloween, everyone. There's only 31. I'm only making 31 available. I just made it right now. You'll have this from today all the way into November 30th, so the end of November. All right, well, make sure you go ahead and lock that in, and I'll see y'all in the VIP.